Hello, folks. This is Samir, your host for 21 Leaves. And at 21 Leaves, we talk to interesting people and learn how to craft a life you love. Our guest today is Kishan Vasekar. And Kishan, uh, in 2011, he had a massive heart attack. And from there on, he changed his lifestyle. We're going to talk about that. An IT graduate, he's worked with, Mukesh Ambani, late Dhirubhai Ambani. And we're going to go through a very interesting life for Kishan. So thank you, Kishan Kaka. Thank you for coming onto the podcast.
Thank you. Welcome. Yeah.
So let's start at, go back to 2011. And let's compare and contrast Tum's life before and after your heart attack.
Okay. See, before heart attack, right from my career start, 1975 to 2011, 36 years, it was more of a corporate life, full of different responsibilities, change in the jobs, and all usual tensions. Particularly from the point I joined one company in Aurangabad or Sambhajinagar as a GM, the career graph started going up. In between, I did my MBA also after chemical engineering from IIT Bombay, and then learned so many quality tools and different programs I attended management. So that has helped me to get somewhere in the career as a sudden jump, and that was a very tough job started. And so from that last say, I had heart attack when I was 58. So 36 to 58, that 22 years or 20 years odd, were full of many challenges, career challenges, financial challenges, and some family issues, health challenges. And it was a typical corporate goals. Touch the moon, get the moon without giving any moonlight or showing any sun there. And that type of thing was there. Then we had, in the between, it was 9 to 5 job, 8:30 to 5. But meeting started at 8:30 in Reliance particularly. And I had to be present there because I was a management representative. In the last job, the stress I faced in Mumbai, I think it was one of the critical things which might have caused this. But I was not aware of these issues. And the second point, when I say the lifestyle, it is like a work-life balance. Okay, my wife was taking care of children. They were grown up that time probably, and my both daughters have moved to USA. They were studying, and someone was got a job. But in between, what has happened is that I lost my eating habits were lost. I mean, go in the morning, eat something, and then meetings are going up to 3 p.m. Nothing is available. Sometimes dabba comes, sometimes dabba doesn't come. So maybe up to 50% of time I used to have home dabba. But then balance 50% something, I ate like mad sweets. There was nothing available when I was in the office. Go down below, there were gulab jamun, so I ate. Oh, what to do? And then lots of cups of tea. And then when you come back in the night, lot of stress. So you have some food and then get up in the morning. And there was so much of stress and doing meetings and all that I had to prepare the minutes and circulate it and take the actions. My job was not only designing the system, implementing the systems also. And my exercise, yoga I have learned long back, but I could not really do justice to that. Exercise was off and on, nothing very specific. And there was no awareness in myself. Even my doctors whom I did all these things, they never told me that, oh, your lifestyle is not so. Today, everybody will tell you. But this is about 25 years back. Nobody informed in that way that your lifestyle is not good and your father had a heart attack, so you take care. Nobody could tell us. And we are just carried away like anybody in the process of corporate, but I had no smoking habits. One good thing was happening is that I had learned meditation in way back in 1978, and I met my spiritual guru in between. So I used to do meditation, mantra, and some sort of a jap. Maybe I was not doing a regular worship kind of thing. That department was given to wife. So all this carried forward. If you take it practice, the worst thing that could happen could have been converted into heart attack only. And that has happened because my lifestyle, I really did not do regular exercise, yoga, and probably my food habits became very bad, and the stress was at the highest. I would say my job stress was 9 on 10. Financial stress was moving in between 6 or 7 to 9, 10. In between, I had financial crisis 3 times in my career. I lost the job, finding the other job, had differences, moving the house was not available. So all this is caused a lot of stress in myself, and that gave up some sort of a heart disease was there, which was not known. As it happens, the heart attack is so sudden.
Correct.
And my heart attack was the worst of its kind. It was a silent heart attack. For 4 days, nobody could do. Can you believe that even the doctors there did not take ECG? Today, if somebody tells me that I'm having slight chest pain, I say, go and take ECG.
Right.
And it is so easy in a place like India that just go out and you can take ECG there. Correct. Today, I will do that, but no doctor advised that time. So 4 days, then ultimately I collapsed in the office.
Oh.
But to my luck, my MD picked me up. Within 10 minutes, I was in the hospital. In 4 hours, the surgery was done and the clot was removed.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Then I was moved to the best hospital in Mumbai, that is Asian Heart. My daughter was here, is doctor. She came. My second daughter also, elder daughter also came afterwards. And luckily, son was working in Bangalore. He came in 4 hours from Bangalore. Just on he got the flight and he was there by the time. And my friends came there. And that hospital 35 days has taught me something. 35 days in ICU or what you call ER. Then my both kidneys failed.
Oh, Barbara.
And then when they started recovering, it was a miracle. Like doctor said, it is impossible to recover. But then probably the positive thinking and the prayers and the treatment, everything worked. And my kidneys recovered after 20 days, after 10 sittings. That was a miracle.
Oh, wow.
And then after that, again, I went into coma and I was on ventilator for 4 days. And when I got revived, that time was, that is my divine intervention, I call it. I can discuss it separately, but my whole life has been sort of miraculous. At times, it is a celestial coincidence or divine intervention. And then all in between, there has been some good points also. So after that heart attack, I could not work. So it was from a 40 lakhs per annum that time. I came down to nothing. And that was pinching me more. For 2 years, I stayed in Navi Mumbai. I had to leave out the company house. I didn't have house also. My house is in Aurangabad that time. So we stayed there, treatment took. And then what I did is, I gave up the sweets in 7 days.
In 7 days?
In ice cream, I used to in tons. I will tell you how I gave it up. I gave it up. Then I started exercising. And main thing I learned is that I was given the next day physiotherapy, physical training in the hospital. And that was a game changer. So I am still doing that physiotherapy, physical training. And after that, I reduced my sweets, changed my total habits, and literally I had to retire. I could not work. For almost for 6 months to 8 months, I was on the walker. Then I studied a lot about heart. I decided, see, there was a vacuum. No money was coming, but children were supporting. But I was always feeling, what is this? So those 2 years of recovery, there was another game changer came, and that was my Ayurvedic treatment. I searched and I found out 2 cycles of Ayurvedic treatment, including massage, 7 days stay in that hospitals, Ayurvedic hospitals. And that changed my whole thing. My heart rate got improved, BP come down, my heart functioning improved within 7 days. Yes, that is a game changer. So I learned that allopathy, Ayurvedic synergy, what I call. And then I started, after 2-3 years, when we moved to Aurangabad or Sambhajinagar now, I started reading about the heart. And the boss, my boss, guru, who is no more now in my life, was Mr. Devarajan. He was in the highest positions. 22 companies, he was director, he was president in Reliance. He met me even after a heart attack. He used to meet me whenever I needed. He used to come like that. It has happened, and he told me, write a book on happy heart. I started writing. Still, I have not done it, but I started giving lectures. And I suppose then I studied many hearts, and then I started finding out why it is copying heart. And in all that process, I started thinking about what to do in the life. And he gave me that you have learned so much. You have come out of heart, and every 39 seconds, one person is dying of heart attack. So why not you take this as a mission? So I started with a mission in 2016, first session. As save million hearts is my mission. That time I started. So that was a, how to convert the worst things into the best things. That's what I have learned in my life. In fact, I written down 14 life lessons learned. Based upon that, I have sent you a copy also. And all this life mission, save million hearts, I gave the talk, and then I started seeing how to really make some sort of a program or tell the people what I have gone through. And my wish is that if at least one person can benefit, I go on telling it. Maybe sometimes, people may not like it, but I studied so much that even I started reducing my medicines. I integrated yoga, pranayam, and made my own sort of a formula, which will come to. So the whole thing is that now life, my balanced lifestyle, what I call as a BMW lifestyle, balanced moderate and worry lifestyle, has started now. But looking back, we can start it earlier also. So the difference is total from a corporate, busy, stressful lifestyle to now easy lifestyle, which otherwise also you can take as a choice. So in my case, it happened by coincidence, or you can say by accident.
And so what does a typical day look like today? When you spoke about meditation, you spoke about, exercise, food. So what is your typical routine now?
My typical routine is that I get up early morning. I take more of meditation, and my mantra or japa goes on automatically. When I learned transcendental meditation, then I learned many types of meditation. And when my guru gave me mantra, my each and every activity is automatically followed by mantra. It is integrated. When I get up, I do Karagravaste Lakshmi. Then I do lots of many mantras. It is impossible to believe. When I am brushing teeth, also I do Om Vajrantai Nama, and I visualize. It is like mindfulness meditation. And that's what has helped my kidney recovery. When my kidneys failed, as a chemical engineer, I focus on the kidney. It saw it as an ultra microfiltration and told my kidneys to recover. And we chanted Hanuman Chalisa, we chanted many mantras. In fact, I know so many powerful mantras which Guru has given. I remembered everything, and I told that Naga Devata to come and take away the creatines. And I visualized that creatine is coming down. And that's what I have been doing. Whenever I have issue, today also, when there is a pain, I got a painkiller mantra also. So for each, I have developed some sort of mantra, and then I know physiology partially. So I visualize that it is working. Like I'm reading a book now. It is mind and healing. That expert has taken many interviews, and the one who has given that heart, Din Ornish is the person who developed this heart, diet for heart. He himself started learning meditation. That I came to know recently. And he said that meditation has improved his patients also. So meditation, which goes in different ways, you can do whatever you like. That has been my main focus. That's why I developed this my speed, my formula also. So meditation, yoga, that is yogasana, typical yoga. I learned yogasanas many times, and I do it regularly now. And my speed is smile and sleep well. See, smiling is trying to be happy. The whole purpose is how to be happy in spite of all the things happening. And that technique, probably I've been a happy-go-lucky man personally. But then you face so many financial issues, health issues. You cannot be remaining happy every time. But I today, 24/7, I try to be happy. Not only that, earlier suppose you get some sort of a bad news, some death in the family and all that, you leave it aside. But suppose you have something happens, something else happens in the job, or somebody says something, and today trolling is happening, somebody gives something on the WhatsApp, you might get disturbed. But the response time to come back, to bounce back, it should be maximum 20 minutes for me now. In 10 minutes also I can record now, just by some practice. So going to be that type of things is happening because of Bhagavad Gita.
So let's talk about Bhagavad Gita, because you have studied Bhagavad Gita, and you also have
studying,
created
I'm a
Bhagavad Gita, into into health and well-being, and you sort of translate that. So can
Yeah.
you talk about, how maybe share some of the learnings from the Bhagavad Gita as it relates to health and wellness?
Yes, I think that's what it is. In fact, once after this heart attack, in between also I was studying Bhagavad Gita in 1993. In fact, when I was in IIT, I read about that Bhagavad Gita can solve every problem of life. I read in the illustrated weekly in those days, 1975. So I always had some sort of feeling, what is this Bhagavad Gita? But in 1993, I first time got that Bhagavad Gita book and I started reading it. And luckily, I didn't have much of Sanskrit, but understanding was very easy, some of the shlokas. Then I started reading and thinking about it. And one day suddenly, while I was taking bath, one of my friends came. I'll tell you the actual, it has happened. He says, you are writing, his name is Bhave. So I said, Bhave tu bhi gari aave, jevave. I used to make some sort of funny poems. He said, why don't you write in Bhagavad Gita in Marathi and English poetic form? Said, fine, let me think about it. So I took out the first shloka, Nainan Chindanti Shastrani, Nainan Dahati Pavaka. And the meaning was, simple in English and Marathi. And I was just drafting it down. And suddenly I saw the words while taking bath. And the words were, soul can't be burned by fire, neither water can wet its attire, no weapon can cleave or kill, nor can be dried by any windmill. It is not a translation. And then I wrote in Marathi, आत्म्यास न मारू शके शस्त्र न त्यास भेदू शके अण्वस्त्र महासागराच्या पाण्याचा लागेल ना त्यास थारा वाळवंटाचा त्यास वाळवू शकेल न वारा. And then I wrote 100 shlokas and I made a small book and distributed it. And and by this time I got some experiences about what the soul is. I really got those experiences. They are spiritual experiences. I will discuss it separately on another forum. And then after heart attack, when I was on deathbed practically, I had a vision of God. And I was revived practically by him. I written down everything. So that time I felt I have lost there is no fear of death for me now, physical death. Yeah, that has happened. And then my spirituality has been so ingrained in last 35 years and after heart attack that I'm just devoted to Bhagavad Gita. And then when I started in Bhagavad Gita, I found fantastic shlok which defines everything just in one shloka, that is 6.17. When I say 6.17, it is like a long. Adhyaya 6, 17 shloka. It says, Yukta hara viharasya, Yukta cheshta karmasu, Yukta swapnava bodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. Simple meaning is that one who is balanced in his eating, food habits, in exercise, doing the work, sleeping, dreaming, everything, for him, the health is the yoga, he will get the best health. Now you can analyze this shloka. It has so many parameters. Each shloka in Bhagavad Gita is a wealth of knowledge. You can interpret it in any way, the way it is applicable to you. So today, what is balanced life for you may be slightly different for me. So I call it as a BMW lifestyle, which is that shloka. BMW is balanced, moderate, and worry-free. Okay. So I coined that word. And people, I given a conquer heart disease through Bhagavad Gita also I given sessions. Conquer COVID through Bhagavad Gita I given. Success and management through Bhagavad Gita I have prepared. So all the happiness through Bhagavad Gita I have prepared. And this shloka, when I applied to myself, I found that my sleeping was less, but then my dreaming was more. Bhagavad Gita, it says that the balance between the dreaming time and sleeping time is more important, which is what the neurologists are also telling now. And when you meditate more, 20 minutes of meditation is like 2 hours of sleep you can manage with less over a period of time. So meditation gives a total rest to the brain. Your thoughts come down, say, from 6,000 per day to 600 per day. And there will be a moment in meditation when there is no thought. And the gap between those two thoughts, if you feel with a powerful thought, that thought actualizes. It happens. वो बोलते हैं ना सब कायनात आपके पीछे पड़ जाती है. And it literally happens. And to top on that, in 2019, when I came to USA, I had a stroke. But by that time, I have studied about heart and stroke, that I become doctor ka baap hu na. My daughter is doctor, so I tell in my lectures. And I realized that stroke within 5 minutes. The pills came down from I was taking the medicine. and they fall down. I talked to my daughter, made a video call. She said, Baba, it is a stroke, go to hospital. Son called 911. I was in 20 minutes hospital and 30 minutes treatment started. On fourth day, I started walking, came back. My left hand was 90% gone. It is 90% okay. So that stroke also made me think, what is my life mission? So now I integrated my life mission. From Bhagavad Gita, save million hearts. Now it is save million hearts, but now it is happiness, health, peace, and prosperity through Bhagavad Gita. It is 2 HP.
Acha.
Happiness, health, peace, and prosperity.
Peace and prosperity.
And Bhagavad Gita has got particularly shlokas. Now let's come to how to reduce the stress. I told you the fundamental slok. Yukta ahara vihara. Similarly, you have to have ahar as balance. That is diet purification. Then entertainment is must. Vihar means entertainment. So balance that. Yoga is must. Then smile and sleep is must. Then exercise there, diet purification there, and meditation is my integral, critical of all these things which has saved me and has made my life is meditation. Meditate and meditate and meditate more. That is my fundamental, and meditation happens to me now automatically. There was a time that I, like a mad, initially I meditate for hours together. That was something, something very different which happened to me first my few years. So all this is combined. I realized that the power of meditation, and specifically if I ask, if you may say, I say it's mantra meditation which has helped me, has gone through all these processes, and then I developed this my speed formula.
So what is this? You have this happy heart mantra, right? My speed. What is the full form of this my speed?
Before that, I'll tell you two more shlokas from Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
Now, those stress, you say anger management. There is a shloka 2.63. Krodhat bhavati samoha smriti vibrama smriti bhavchat buddhi nashat pranashati. So many people know Bhagavad Gita. They know 700 shlokas by heart. Some of them I asked, many of them I asked, have your anger come down? Answer was not positive. So I took a challenge, and last 4 years I did some experiments, innovative experiments, myself and my wife, and my anger has come down by 95%.
Oh, acha.
So and that I call is RURI of Bhagavad Gita. Read, understand, reflect, and internalize one shloka at a time.
Acha.
So anger management, so there are many shlokas, but this is a master shloka for anger management. So I have given health, well-being is that master shloka. And then I have to tell you how I stopped my sweets. I had taken tons of ice cream before, because there was a corporate. I used to arrange parties. I mean, in a good way, some success parties. Okay, you arrange. I had that much of option also. In a higher position, okay, you give a party. Then I had to be there, give a lecture also sometimes. So eat lots of ice cream. Then gulab jamun. I liked it. But after heart attack, my son-in-law and doctors told me, you stop, reduce it. It is bad. And I read about, being a chemical, I read about ice cream. It is all, nothing. It is all empty calories, they say. It is all carboxymethyl cellulose. And one of my friends said, he came to meet me, hey, you are knowing Bhagavad Gita, why you are eating ice cream? I chori se thoda kha raha tha, from my wife. I went also there and had one gulab jamun also. After 7 days of, when I went home.
Okay.
Then I realized that I'm making a mistake. Because I had so many books of heart also. Then I decided to stop it. And then I came across 2.58 shloka of Bhagavad Gita. And I told you how it helps me. And the shloka says, Yada samvarate chayam krumongam sarvasha indriyani arte sartabhya pradnya pratishtha. Just like turtle, when it senses some sort of a danger, it withdraws all the limbs. And then it protects itself. That is a kavach for him.
Right.
So anything is there, anything sense object is there, the yogi can control it. So what I did, literally, when I started eating ice cream, I said, I just close my eyes. I wrote down that shloka on whiteboard. I got a special technique. I write whatever I want to learn on whiteboard. Read it, understand it, write it in different languages, read from different books also, their meaning, interpretation. And then I said, moment I bought this first time, I said 2.58. I'm not going to eat.
Okay.
I'm a turtle-like. I became a turtle-like.
Uh,
And within 3 days, I stopped it. Yes.
So you have not had ice cream for all these years now?
Now, 10 years when we went to last time to UK, our daughter also came. There was nothing to eat. So once in a way, you eat, nothing will happen. I said, okay. But today, I used to eat so much ice cream. And they said there is ice cream is fat-free and all that is all bogus.
Yeah.
And I never touch Coca-Cola and sugary drinks anyway. Never touch cigarette also. So sweet. And after that, I have a habit of tea taking thrice or 4 times. So second time tea, because I started getting acidity, I stopped it in one day. I can stop it today also and start it again. So my food habits, diet habits, I can control the way I wish. And I have reduced the main thing, which is that I have reduced my night food content by almost 70%. I take only small khichdi, something. So the basic thing which you want for the heart is that you reduce your food content and go for the healthy food. I got a formula for that also. You reduce your salt, sugar, and then maida. Yes, Mrs. को छोड़ो बोलता हूँ, Mrs. maida, then refined oil, sugar and salt. Don't give up your wife. So that way, if you can integrate Bhagavad Gita in daily life, you have to install the best habits. You might have read so many books about Robin Sharma. They all talk about management. But simple thing, I read last month only 5 a.m. book. So most of the books now I don't read. I read only Bhagavad Gita and meditate. Books I can just scan and I just understand. I read hundreds of books earlier. But 7 habits also I can tell you in 7 minutes also. I teach in 7 minutes how to internalize 7 habits. So Bhagavad Gita, and then one fantastic sloka in Bhagavad Gita. 10.10. It is very easy to remember. What does it say? Tesham satata yuktana bhajata priti purvakam dadami buddhi yagam tam mamu vyanti devi. That means those who meditate upon me, those who pray me, those who are devoted to me every moment, satata, continuously, I give them buddhi yoga. I give that sort of intelligence, conscious to them, that they come and meet, they get me. I give them that knowledge. So God, what does it do? It doesn't protect you like taking a stick and being with you. That gun and security may be there. It gives you sort of that buddhi. It gives you consciousness. It gives that intelligence to find out what is good and what is bad. And that's what is 10.10. And 10.10, I say, at least you meditate for 10 minutes, find this shloka. And this shloka means you have to do continuously work. So I relate this shloka to koshish karne walon ki haar nahi hoti hai. If you meditate and if you can find God, you can do anything, isn't it? And that's what this shloka is. These are my 5-6 fundamental shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. There are 700 shlokas, but at least 50 shlokas you can internalize and take 21 days. It takes one habit to build 66 days. If you want to internalize, if you do it regularly. And then if you can take, say, you can take a challenge to improve your habit, one habit per week. In 100 habits, you can inculcate in 100 weeks. And that is going to be the challenge. So that's what I learned from Bhagavad Gita. And people say that Bhagavad Gita doesn't believe in action. It is only philosophy. No. There is one shloka, which I tell always at the end of my all lectures. It is called 2.37. And the shloka says, Hatova prapsasi swarga, jitva bhoksese muhim, tasma uttishta kaunte yudhaya krita nishchaya. If you die in the battlefield, you'll get the kingdom of the heaven. And if you win the war, you'll get the kingdom of the earth. At the moment, Arjun get up and fight and shoot the arrow. So I tell in my all lectures also, get up and go run. In those who join my all this, my happy heart mantra or Bhagavad Gita, their requirement is their first post of the day, they can only do if they have done 10 minutes of meditation or 20 minutes of exercise. Otherwise, don't do it. So action is more important. All these things, knowledge is there, but have you really taken the action? Did you do yoga today? Did you meditate? At least something. Okay, 5 days in a week, at least you are doing. If no, there's all no use. Isn't it? So walk the talk is literally what is heart is required. Okay. Now let's go ahead.
Yeah. No, so you have all these, like BMW and MySpeed, all these acronyms that you have. So you have one which is called MySpeed, Happy Heart Mantra. No. So what is the full form of that MySpeed?
My aim is meditation. Why is yoga? Yes, you smile and sleep well.
Okay.
P is pranayam. breathing techniques. E is exercise.
Okay.
And next is entertainment.
Okay.
And D is diet purification.
Oh, arey wah.
Everything is comes there.
Right.
And then M has many other things also. I have got 4-5 M's also: music, massage, mudra, meditation, and medication. And medication for me is allopathy plus Ayurveda synergy.
Okay.
Can you believe that I started with 8 pills every day? Today I take only 1.5 pill every day.
Okay.
And I am one of those few in the world who has stopped statins after heart attack.
And
I
you
don't
stopped the
take
statins. Okay.
I don't take any cholesterol lowering medicines. That is my specialty I have developed. Which actually I have done a lot of work on that. I read a lot of books, but of late I decided that I give that those who are really devoted to do it. And some people, 10 people have left the cholesterol medicines after coming in contact with me. Somebody might have taken a year, somebody 6 months.
Correct.
So gradually you can do it.
That is true. That is true.
But doctors may not, immediately agree for that. You have to take your own precautions also.
That is true. That is true. So all, we've sort of covered a lot of your journey. So if you were to go back,
not only theory, I am acting. Whatever I do, only I tell.
Yeah, correct.
Remember, जो हम करते हैं ना, हम कानून बताते नहीं, कानून बनाते हैं. अंधेरी रात में सूरज को जगाते हैं. I get claps of this mind. I can give the quotations, like I teach my quotations to my younger grandkids also.
Grandkids, arey wah. But if you were to go back to your 30, 35-year-old self.
Okay.
Okay. From what you experience now through, through this journey, what advice would you give your 35-year-old yourself?
Okay. Now it's like, if life has a rewind button, what I will do at 35 years.
Yes.
But having this knowledge, I will have to implement it. So I have to go back into the future. Okay. And that first thing I will do is that maintain the peak health at every time point of life. That is the best thing you can do. That is the only wealth. Maintaining peak health at every point of life is the real wealth. That is the first advice I would have given myself and to anybody. Now I already talked of my lifestyle management techniques. So the other thing is that what I can say is the meditation and the morning meditation is the game changer. Give that 1 hour to yourself. Meditation, yoga, exercise, 1 hour. आप मुझे 60 minutes दे दो, मैं I'll give you 60 years of good quality life. तुम मुझे खून नहीं देना. You give just 60 minutes to me. Even 45 minutes is okay. That you can start anytime. You don't have to be 35 for that. You can start it at 55. You can start it at 30 also. So these two things you start. The thing is that, and what I have been taught is the worst things or tough things which happen to you are for your best. I lost practically 3 times job and I got the best jobs. So tough things happening, worst things happening, give an opportunity to you. And you have to really make out of it. Of course, one thing is that awareness has to be there. So you need some gurus, like I call them GAN gurus. And when you are ready, the guru appears. Achha. And Bhagavad Gita itself is a big guru. So you'll find that if you meditate, learn this Bhagavad Gita and do some sort of course you have to do everything, whatever you have been doing. And if you try to integrate, you will start getting that flow of the knowledge, Buddhi Yoga. Correct. And that is what going to happen so that you can come out of the toughest life situations. You'll face something or the other. Correct. Today also you may be undergoing, but count your blessings. There are so many positives in life. In fact, of late I started writing gratitude journal. And I feel so good, small things. Sometimes I'm writing, every day I'm not writing still, but 3-4 times I wrote. And then you can overcome these issues. And then when you are really want to be creative, it is best thing that when you are very silent and meditative. So creative things happen when you are at your mind's best position. And then find your life mission as early as possible. That is called avatar karya. Okay, you grow, you take a job or do some work, do business, earn money, have family. It's fine. But what is your life mission? Is it to serve something? Correct. What is your life mission? Avatar karya bolte usko. So try to search that. And once you find life mission, you can go back to our management theory, find your objectives, break it down, make it down, and go for this. One thing I'll come to in the later part is that, and then you'll have to. My ultimate advice is at any point of life, learn Sanskrit and music, and try to internalize Bhagavad Gita. I mean, there is so much of knowledge, Bhagavad Gita, Veda, everything we cannot do. Correct. But Bhagavad Gita, that condensed knowledge, if you really look at it open mind, you may be able to connect to quantum mechanics. Somebody may agree or may not agree. It doesn't matter. Correct. Your experiences has to be unique. Everybody will not get that. That is also told in Bhagavad Gita. You will find everything in Bhagavad Gita. But that finding out of 700 shlokas, right slok, and their interpretation and their implementation is a life. It may take many lives, I would say. I tell jokingly my friends, you will take 22 lakh to 2 lakhs lives to understand what I am doing now. Reincarnations. I'm living my second life, I say. I literally am living that. That is true. So, if you really focus on Bhagavad Gita as a life management philosophy of action, you'll find that everything else comes in that. You can connect it, anything to Bhagavad Gita, I have learned. Any management science. It's your own way. Correct. So that's my feeling, that you have to act, and so you can do so many things. There are some. I got 40 lessons. In fact, you asked me 35. I can write down 35 lessons learned also and said. Okay. Once I have written what I would have done when I was 20, things I should have done when I was 20, I have written down. Now I made it 14 only, 14 lifestyles. That is a good business excellence type of thing. I worked on business excellence model also, quality systems, ISO 9000, 14,000, 18,000, Six Sigma black belt, everything, statistics, all that is over now. I'm not interested. I'm talking about Bhagavad Gita. So that's a good segue into our next topic, which is, let's go back to a little bit of your professional career. You worked with Mukesh Ambani, the late Dhirubhai Ambani. Yeah. Can you share some of the lessons that you learned from your interaction with these folks? Yes, I'll be very happy. Now, see, 1985, it was another by chance, or you can call celestial coincidence, or divine intervention, or help, whatever I got from my immediate bosses, that I landed with Mukesh Ambani. And he just selected me in 5 minutes. Just happened it. Because my boss, Mr. Devarajan, who has been my everything, guide, philosopher, friend, he joined from one company to there, and he used to take me. I joined as his executive assistant, and Mukesh Ambani came and said, okay, we take it. At that time, it was a petrochemical project startups. And then we had lots of interaction with Mukesh Ambani. And one day what happened, we were sitting in Mumbai in that other area, near Narendra Point. That time it was not so big office. And my boss told me, Mr. Devarajan, to arrange a meeting with Dhirubhai. There were some Japanese people were coming. It was my first time. I went to his office and told her, his secretary, that I have to meet Dhirubhai. He said, wait, he will come and meet you. So I just sat in some room there, visitor's room, and I was just waiting for him. And then suddenly he entered. I had seen him sometime, like going in car and all that. And then he just came, and I melted by that experience with Dhirubhai Ambani. Everybody knows about it. I tell this experience to everybody in my first session. He came and just said me, I just got up. He said, you are Mr. He knows he's got all the data. He said, you are Mr. Vasekar. Could you wait please in that other room? I have some meeting here. I'll join. I'll talk to you there. I said, thank you. So I waited in the other room. He came, and then we had finished the meeting. And then I just went out, and then meeting was arranged. Maybe next day or so. It was a big meeting. There were so many Japanese people, Mitsubishi and all that. I was coordinating that as executive assistant. And Mukesh Ambani was also present. He was very young that time. He's 4 years junior to me. He's 1978 UDCT chemical engineer. I'm 75 chemical engineer from IIT Bombay. So that time he used to meet Mr. Dev. And this part from Dhirubhai, this was the incident which happened on 15th January 1985, also somewhere there. And after 1 year, there was another meeting, and my boss introduced again to Mr. Dhirubhai to me. And Dhirubhai, before his introduction, I know him, he's Mr. Vasekar. He remembered hundreds and lakhs of names, Dhirubhai. And he was so kind. And that humility, what he has taught me, I can't just, you can't believe it, that man. He was the kindest businessman I have ever met. but I met only twice. Second time he remembered with me my name. And you ask anybody who has met, who is alive today, who has met Dhirubhai, he will say same thing. He remembered lakhs of names, crores of names.
That's
And even I attended initially from Patal Ganga, where we are working, Panvel. We used to be carried by many buses to the AGM. We used to say, of course, if somebody is making noise. But that time, every shareholder who was there, his name also Dhirubhai used to know.
Oh, acha.
By name. And then he used to say, you come and meet me in my office, I'll solve your problem. Because that is what humility and that action orientation and Dhirubhai is, that nobody can forget. That personal touch, trust. And that has been picked up by Mukesh Ambani.
Acha.
So after that, then I was moved from the head office project to the implementation site. And that time there was a big problem about the total logistics and supplies. I was made in charge of planning and coordination. A tough job. And there was no data, so many plant people, everybody going in different direction. I was to make total storage capacity, plan it, and then implement it. So collected the data. Every time something comes, every week I'm giving some presentation on those days. It was on the that papers, and then somebody else used to say, no, it's not correct. That story is not correct. You need naphtha, paraxylene, and all that. So I went out, 3-4 times I made changes. I was bewildered because how to unload that? You have to bring so many trucks, thousands of trucks, unload it, methanol, all petrochemical feedstock for all the plants, petrochemical plants, polyester plants. It was becoming very difficult. Every time I find some solution, there was another problem. And on the last moment, Mukesh Ambani was present for every week he was coming there. Otherwise, the plants won't start. There was no feedstock. It has to be brought from BPCL refinery by trucks and thousands of trucks. That logistics also I arranged afterwards. And that was a fantastic job. Ultimately, we could do it. And the last moment, Mukesh said, Vasekar has solution for every problem and problem for every solution. And he gave a laugh. I learned that he has got very good, this is about 25 years back I'm talking. 85 to 93, I had a lot of interaction. Then I met him only once. I don't know whether he'll remember me, but I'm sure somewhere he remembers me because other bosses know him very well. So he has that find out the problem and find the solution. That innovative approach that is ingrained in him. And then he says, always he says, that's what he says today also, be someone who figures out the solution. And that I have learned in 85 itself from him. I'm always trying to find a solution. Correct. Today also, if somebody comes to with my problem, I said, tell me 4 alternate solutions. Then let's think about it. Correct. Problem anybody can tell. Correct. Have you thought about some alternative solutions? So that is his first. Then he said, you should be passionate about it. Like now I'm passionate about Bhagavad Gita and heart. That time I was passionate about planning or some other career job. And then I became passionate about quality. Quality system. Quality is my forte now. Last 20 years I worked in quality. All quality management system, plan. I been consulted about 100 companies. Now they are big companies. Correct. In Aurangabad and Maharashtra. So, okay, that was a tough job for me. Consultancy money was not coming so easily. But then I enjoyed it. Correct. The quality job I enjoyed. So I was passionate about it. And find the problem and you passionately solve it. That is another learning it has been done. And what most important thing is that he says that your objectives you should pursue, but you should be also, like Dhirubhai also used to say, that he wants to bring like a postcard, 10 paisa, it should be available mobile. And that was done by Dhirubhai. And then that mobile has come those days, which was so big. Then now it has come here. So that whole thing, making it serving the people, that is still ingrained in this business, Reliance business. People may not be knowing it. And he has got such a vision now. He's a technologist by himself. And today his vision for energy, green energy, is fantastic. And he used to say, those days, we make some 10 crore, 50 crore project. He said once, 100 crore either, 100 crore either. Now he says 5,000 crores here and 5,000 crores there. Right. So that the vision and the magnanimity of thinking is there. But he still says, and what he says is correct. You have the goals, but be practical also. So, and then he treats investors or all the stakeholders as if their money is their own money or better than their own money. And that's what the Reliance shareholders. I am the basically I started from Reliance shareholding, and still I only that in between. I didn't have shares, but it has grown up. And then he has one more thing. He is nurture your staff. In Reliance Industries, people are really given all the opportunities. Some people, of course, may not be functioning doing that well. But then, of course, there are personal systems and all that. Now it is a totally system-oriented company. That time it was a personal touch also. Now it is not there, obviously. And then if you really have a life with a passion and a purpose, and then persistency of effect and perfect practice, that's what my own words I am adding. Nothing is impossible. You can achieve real success in life. And all these teachings, about 12 to 15 teachings are there. And one most important thing is GOI. I like that acronyms. Now I found out today. It's not Government of India. It is what Mukesh Bhai says. We call him Mukesh Bhai still. Find the gaps. And from the gap, find the opportunities and then innovate.
Okay.
That is GOI. Growth, in earlier it was a growth is way of life. Now it is growth is life. Correct. So grow, sustain, and then that way innovate. Grow, sustain, innovate. These are the 5 steps they follow. In Bhagavad Gita, I call them from Sankalpa to Siddhi. Sankalpa, Sadhana, Satatya, Samadhan, Santushti, Sayujata, and then Siddhi. There are 7 steps to success. Same steps are there in business also. Sadhana is the tough work. You see, I always tell my kids, grandkids, success comes before the work only in dictionary. That is my most like pure purpose of life is life of purpose. And I told him, my grandson, if you want to be what you want to be what you want to be.
Very nice.
Such quotations, they are just such 50 quotations I remember by heart. I go on changing them. So these all things I learned largely from Mukesh and my bosses, like Mr. Devarajan, who has been there.
Very nice.
So if you come in contact with such people, you get inspired. And then you have to find that you have to get the inspiration from within.
Correct. That is
the real. And as a management or as manager, as a leader, you have to serve. That's what we call seva. In our Bhagavad Gita, it is seva. Satatya, sadhana, seva. Then samarpan. Samarpan is dedication, total dedication. Not only physical surrender, it is total dana, mana, dana.
Correct.
And then your success is there. Success is a byproduct. In fact, profit is a byproduct. Dhirubhai used to say that you don't need any invitation to make profit.
Okay.
And Mukesh Bhai says that you serve and grow, then profit is a byproduct.
Correct.
And that's what it is. That's what at least it is happening today also. Let's hope it continues. But same thing is not with, I work with Anil Bhai, but probably that topic is separate. I can give another lecture on that.
Very nice.
Okay.
So let's sort of transition into the last 2 questions.
Okay.
And we purchase so many things throughout our life. We accumulate things. So what is the best purchase that you have ever made?
Okay. I was thinking about it. If you would have said earlier, when I got a big car, when I was in Reliance, good car. Then I got a flat sometime I was working. And then, of course, my daughters got married. Everything got okay. We had 3 financial crises in my life. I came out of that. But ultimately, after heart attack, I wanted a good house very near to a cardiologist. And the best purchase, I talked to my wife also, is that 2 BHK flat in Aurangabad or Sambhajinagar, which is in the center of Aurangabad. There is a lift there. I'm on the 2nd floor. My cardiologist friend is just stone's throw. Neurologist samne hai. I get sabji there. So 2 of staying there. That is the best person. And there are only 4 people in that apartment, and we are all happy. And Aurangabad or Sambhajinagar is my place where I studied right from 5th standard to PUC before going to IIT.
Okay.
So that is our best purchase today. It is a small cozy house. You can come and stay with us also.
That
is our best purchase of my life. not any other thing. And other purchases have been books. But then my books used to be here and there. So wife says, "Ye to pasara karte hain." That I say entropy goes on increasing. But the best books I was gifted was the first book, which you must have read it, is Unlimited Power by Anthony Robbins. That changed my thinking. That changed my thinking. That was presented to me in 1993 by one managing director of one company, where I solved their polyester problem. Yes. I am polyester expert also. I worked in petrochemicals, drugs, pharmaceutical, petrochemicals, power generation, transmission, distribution, civil construction, everything.
Right. Now, that is a really good purchase. That is a good purchase. So the last question we come to actually is from another podcast. Patrick O'Shaughnessy is, Invest Like the Best podcast. And I like it very much. What is the kindest thing that someone has done for you?
Okay. This is a very tough question, but very good question. Now, kindest out of all that happening, I could not do justification for number 1, 2, or 3. So I thought of giving you 3 or 4 things to you. Okay. Now, the worst challenge of my life I faced, or the financial crisis, everything, financial, family, health crisis I faced, was when I had to no job and I had to come to Mumbai in 1982. I was looking for a job, no house, came to Mumbai, then luckily met my spiritual guru. I stayed with my co-brother for a few days in one room with all 6 people. So that time my spiritual guru gave me mantras. The moment he saw, he said, "You are the person who will spiritually go and your life problems will be solved." This is the fact of which doesn't happen to all the people. And he gave me so many mantras. I taught them those mantras to my children also. They can recite all these mantras. So that was the kindest thing, but it has happened on a spiritual basis. Now coming back to on the physical plane, life plane. When I met Mr. Devarajan after that job, and I was guided to Devarajan by another coincidence. I met one of my old Hyderabad friend. His father was working as managing director of the company, who knew Mr. Devarajan, who was president of one Shapurji Palanji that time. And he just met me in the auto rickshaw. That son with whom I used to play table tennis in Hyderabad, my earlier job. His father was managing director there, and they were knowing me. And he directed to Mr. Devarajan, and he gave me job in 3 minutes. When I came to Mumbai, that happened in August 82. And then he came to Reliance. And he took me to Reliance. Okay. Mr. Devarajan, he is no more, but he is my everything. I mean, he is my everything, friend, philosopher, guide, everything. And then when he came, I didn't have house in Mumbai. And I was just staying with my 2 daughters' wife, with my co-brother. There are 6 people in one room we were staying. So suddenly they said there is one room house there in Dadar, which cost 30,000 rupees per month. And those 30,000 rupees in 1985-86 was 3 crores today. Where's the money? I had only 3,000. I didn't have the 3,000. So I said, I go and prayed as usual. And when I went next day to the office, Mr. Devarajan saw me in a trouble. You can't imagine what a man is. He's now worshipped by thousands, lakhs of people in industries. He's no more. He said, "What happened?" So it's like this. I don't have money. There's no house. Okay, what can I do? He took out a check and gave me 5,000 rupees. He said, "You return or don't do anything. Don't bother." I said, "Fine." So that was the first thing happened. And then I came out. Then another friend who was working with earlier Shapurji Balanji, he just arrived to meet Mr. Devarajan. This is what has happened. Unbelievable. He went inside, he had some talk because they are earlier friends and all that. He came out and he looked at me. I don't know whether Mr. Devarajan told him also. He knew me earlier. His name is Mr. Tamani. After that, I never met him after that incident. Once I met only. And he opened his bag. He said, "What has happened?" I said, "I need 30,000 rupees. I don't know what to do. I'm going to sell my gold," I said. He opened his bag. Can you believe it? He gave me 10,000 rupees those days and kept it. So that was another kindest thing that. Wow. And then I gathered that 30,000 rupees in 3 days. And I got that house in one room house in Dadar where I stayed.
Mm.
And then I moved to Panvel, where company gave me a big flat.
Mm.
So kindest thing has happened
Mm.
from Mr. Devarajan and that person, Mr. Tamane. I
Mm.
returned their money. Devarajan was not ready to take, but I said, sir, now I am well placed.
Mm.
Please.
Mm.
And Tamane I met afterwards. But after that, he said, when I returned the money, I never could meet Tamane. I don't know where is he now. But that thing I cannot forget. So many people must have done some good things in our life.
Correct.
And then there are so many kindest people I met, but this kindest is Mr. Devarajan and Mr. Taman, which happened out this within 1 hour of each thing. When I was needing the most.
Correct. Yeah, when you needed it the most. Correct.
I mean, you just can't imagine that time getting 30,000 rupees. Today, okay, then after heart attack, my children were earning and I had some money. He got into Stanford. My daughters helped him, my son. He got in Stanford that time when I had a heart attack. My son stayed there with 40 days in my ICU. He was there in the hospital. And then he got that time Stanford. I had 26 lakh rupees kept for him. It was all gone. My daughter helped, elder daughter. Now he is well placed in San Francisco. So things happen like this in a very celestial coincidence way or whatever you can say. The life unfolds.
Right. No, those
So
are
this is
really
the kindest
kind.
thing that has happened to me, and I can't. I get tears in my eyes.
It is really, really kind.
These are God's grace, I would say.
Well, I think, yeah, this is very interesting conversations. Thank you so much for, spending the time preparing and sharing your experience with us. I'm sure other people will benefit from what you have, shared today. But thank you so much. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah. I think it's the first time I had done such thing. Maybe we can also more. When I'll go back to or no, this recording you can stop. Then I can chat with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.